He finished 215th in FPL, and 12 months later, he won the thing. That makes Ali Jahangirov the world's best FPL manager to me. Ali, welcome back for another video. You are back on the channel, and you're exclusively revealing your Game Week 1 team, and you're going with this man. We'll talk about him in a second, but first and foremost, how are you, mate?
All good, Jenny. Thanks for having me back. It's exciting times for all the FPL managers. All the preseason tinkering and the game has launched. So I'm excited to be back and chatting to you as well about the game we love.
Thank you, mate. Well, look, if you're going to enjoy the video, guys, and you're going to give it a watch, ask a question below, but hit that like button nice and early, and do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Got loads of preseason planned content. Ali, to win FPL, like you and I were speaking almost on a daily basis in like maybe 3 months before you won it, which was awesome to be a small part of your success. But just talk to me, like, what was it like winning FPL and how did you feel? Because you did finish 215th the year before. You knew what it took to get an elite rank. Like, so many have never had a top 10K or a top 1K. 215 and then 1. That is insane.
Yeah, a lot of stars have to be aligned for that to happen, I must say, because the year before I won it, it was I really wanted to push in the end, and some of the risky decisions didn't really pay off. But luckily, the next year I kept on going, and I had a good chunk of luck through my whole FPL career, used in that year, and so the after. Winning FPL, I think I've run out of all of my luck, and I think there's a lot of things needs to align in order for that to happen. But again, it's just the most important element is luck, of course.
Yeah, you're very modest though. I mean, your playing style is very aggressive. It's very high upside. It's very differential, and I don't think you can win FPL playing template. You can get great ranks playing template, but you can't win it. And you either have seasons where you hit and you finish in where you finish, or you completely miss and you're in a couple of 100K. And that is absolutely, you're a man after my own heart. That's how I try and play the game. And I love your approach. And already, we're going to talk later about Salah versus Haaland, but already you're differential to the masses on that one. We'll speak about that in a sec. But let's kick off with your team, and we'll just run through position by positions. We'll start with goalkeepers. I guess you like the defensive numbers of Forest from last year. They kept 13 clean sheets. Only Liverpool kept more clean sheets. So you were probably, like many, expecting Matt Sales to come in at 5.5 million. He didn't. He's in at 5.
The Sales pick is kind of a nostalgic one as well, because he was one of the season keepers for me last year, and it was one of the rare players that I really bet on, and I benefited from that. Otherwise, I didn't have many players that did good that no one expected in the beginning of the season. But I think Sales is a good bet because he's just signed a new contract. I think he's completely nailed. Forest should be improving from last season as well, because they've bought a few more players. And out of other goalkeepers, I think he's one of the most compelling one.
I like the clean sheet possibilities in 4 of the first 5 games for Forest. Brentford, Palace, West Ham, Arsenal, Burnley. But I could see 3 clean sheets in 5 there. And if so, Forest defenders early on are going to be a great pick. So I like that call from you. I think when Europe starts, maybe they'll see some problems. But early in the season, I do like Forest. I think it's an inspired pick for Sales. I haven't seen him in many drafts. 4.0 fodder there, and you're not thinking about an early bench boost. So this will be a light squad with a light bench. But let's talk about your back line, because you have got premium in there with Gabriel and Aït-Nouri. And of course, like, there's a lot of 6 million defenders this year. So you've gone Aït-Nouri and Gabriel. Tell me why. Let's go Aït-Nouri first.
Yeah, I think is a great pick. He's been doing that for a while now, and in a better team, in a better structure, I'd say he's bound for a good season. For Gabriel is a no-brainer, I think. Arsenal with a good defense, and basically he's one of the best players of Arsenal last year, and I think he'll do better this year.
Yeah, and you are an Arsenal fan, Ali. I expected some Arsenal coverage, but they're the best for clean sheet odds early on, even with tough fixtures. So you've gone 2 premiums, and then you've gone Mikalenko and De Kuyper as always going to be your third defender. You'll always play a back three, the way I know how you manage. So Mikalenko and De Kuyper, you've gone for 2 left backs here. And De Kuyper especially comes with goal threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when Stupinian has left already, I believe, and he's going to AC Milan, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's known for his attacking threat, and I think he'll be a good addition to a fairly attacking Brighton team. Mikalenko, I think, is a proven asset in terms of FPL, as well as in a good defensive setup of Everton. I think he should be doing well this season as well, because he's nailed. And Moyes likes to play a defensive game, so he's had a good season last year. I believe he's still young and he will improve. Of course, it's will be a matter of the fixture between these two, but I think they have a good chance of doing well.
Yeah, we spoke off air about the defensive contribution points, and you were saying you've not had a huge amount of time to digest it. But my point with defensive contribution points, yes, centre-backs will win out. And Mikalenko won't score as many as Tarkowski or Branthwaite, but he's also cheaper. But it's also worth noting, these defensive contribution points, they might pay off over a long period. But if you're only picking a team for the first few weeks and you're going for ceiling, the fullbacks have the ceiling if they have goal and assist threat. The centre-backs maybe have a higher floor, but definitely for ceiling, the fullbacks still win out over shorter periods. Maybe over a 20-week sample, the centre-backs will win out. But over a 5-week sample, the fullbacks still can, and it is worth remembering that, guys. Mate, we'll move on to your midfield and forwards. This is where it gets spicy. And I want to have a big discussion on Salah versus Haaland in a minute as well. But guys, do check out Fantasy Football Scout, by the way. The QR code's on screen. Ali and I are big Scout boys, if you fancy. But look, midfielders, I knew you liked Kudus because you've picked him quite a bit even at West Ham. So just talk to me about Kudus, because he's become a bit of an FPL darling already because Spurs have Burnley, but also because he's 6.5. And I think many expected him to be more.
Yeah, the price point is really interesting here, because I truly believe he's got the ability to have a good season, especially for a better team. No offense to West Ham, but he was he's shown enough to prove his qualities and everything. For Spurs, I think he has a good chance of doing well in that attack, but the new manager is questionable. So it's one of the positions that I'm not sure about. We'll have to wait and see the friendly games and see how Spurs do in the beginning of the season. But it's a good price point. It's a good player. I think he has a good chance of doing well.
Yeah. Florian Wirtz. I knew Wirtz was a you kind of pick as well, and you would have watched him a lot in the Champions League, and his output's brilliant. Again, a player we probably thought would go in at a higher price. If you're not going Mo Salah, you need that Liverpool attack covered, if not with one, if not with 2 players. And you've gone Wirtz and you've gone Gakpo. So talk to me about that Liverpool double up, because as things stand, we probably expect Gakpo to start on the left-hand side. But of course, they are linked with players like Rodrigo, and then that would obviously influence your decision maybe to sell him. But Wirtz first and foremost.
Yeah, with the inclusion of Wirtz in the team, I think the contributions will be well spread all around the team, and he's a player that goes for it, very direct, very straight, and I think in terms of all the contributions throughout the teams, this will be he will affect on points for Salah and all the attacking assets of Liverpool. So he's a no-brainer at this price point. I think he's a good pick.
Yeah, nice. And Cody Gakpo, you've gone, 7.5. If you're going to get starts, he's going to be brilliant. I think that's a great price point. And move from forward to midfielder.
Yeah, that was the decisive moment for me, because of the position change. How we all love the out of position players when exactly he's almost playing the striker, so he's more he's closer to the goal than midfield. So that's why, and he's had a good season with the Luis Diaz probably leaving the team. I'm not sure about that transfer speculations, but I think Gakpo will be more or less nailed on the left wing when it comes to the Liverpool are moving really mad in the transfer market. So they're also, I think, buying Ekitike, and you don't know. I'm not sure if there's a lot of goals and assists for Salah in that team.
Yeah, I did wonder with Ekitike, with Wirtz, like, do some of the big chances get more evenly spread across the team? I've no doubt Salah's still going to be brilliant, but does that perhaps lower Salah's big chances? Or you could argue, does it mean more assists for Salah because he's got more people scoring goals? But I just wonder if the funnel of play now is a little more balanced at Liverpool. I still think a lot's going to go to Salah, but a little more balanced. He was clearing away the talisman last year. He'll still be the talisman next year, maybe not quite as much, is my opinion on it, I think.
No, the last season has shown that he's had the majority of his goals and assists in the first half of the season. So the second, it was a little bit of a downfall of his form. So with the addition of so many new good players, I think a lot of moments and a lot of FPL points will be flowing to them. And I just cannot believe that Salah will be on that level, for long enough. And the price point, in order to, we'll come back to this comparison between, Haaland or Salah, but I think it's just a bit challenging to fit both and have a decent team.
Yeah, you make a good point. I think it is. I haven't seen good drafts with Haaland and Salah. And before you sent me your team today, I did wonder. I thought there's a very good chance Ali has squeezed both in. But even you couldn't do that because I know how you like to manage. And going double up, I thought might be you. But yeah, it's really hard. And fair play for FPL for making Haaland so expensive, because I thought he'd be coming a bit less this year. But yeah, it's given us a big decision. Mate, we'll talk about your other attackers in just a sec. But wanted just to mention, you're part of my WhatsApp group in the Ultras tier. And every pre-season, I do a small drive for this. If anyone wants to become a member, join the squad or join the Ultras. The Ultras comes with the WhatsApp group. I keep numbers low. We'll never get more than 25, 30 in there. And they stay. We're a very close-knit group. We stay for the season. So if you want to join, it's brilliant. 24/7, you've got to be really into your FPL to want to be in this WhatsApp group, but also on deadlines and stuff like that. It's amazing. I send extra videos out to all members, including squad members, reply to all comments. Click the word join below if you want to become a member today and join me and Ali in the Ultras, or become a squad member to support the channel and get that extra content. I'm going to do like videos most days, by the way, for extras. Mate, Saka, because of the fixtures, he's been overlooked. But also, if you sign Gyökeres, there's a very good chance Saka loses pens. At 10 million, is he too expensive?
I don't think he's too expensive. I think his numbers will go up in the upcoming seasons. I think he's completely nailed, and he's bound to have a good season. Even with the addition of Gyökeres, yeah, it's a similar situation in Liverpool. But having a good striker, that means he will probably have more space to move on, and the teams won't be able to easily double up on them. So it will affect having a good striker that can finish. I think it will only improve Saka's contributions to the team.
Yeah, okay. And Rogers covers you for Villa attack, 7 million, 90-minute man. I guess you don't have Watkins, so you've gone Rogers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's still young. He will improve, and I try to pick and predict players that will strive. He did, last year. Of course, it was very underpriced for output that he has shown last year, and I think this year there's only one way up, unless he leaves to a different team or is a rotation risk. But I think in Aston Villa he's fairly nailed, and his physiques, his minutes are just incredible. He's played a lot of games last season, and he's shown that he can do that on a daily basis, week in, week out.
Even if he goes off injured with 5 minutes to go, next week he still plays 90. Like 3 days later, he's a machine. He is a specimen, you're right. I'm trying to work out if Rogers... I've got Watkins at the moment, and I think I'll go into game week 1 with Watkins, but I'm trying to work out if he's worth 2 million extra than Rogers, because I also really like Rogers. Okay, we'll talk forwards. After the forwards, guys, stay tuned because I'm going to hit you with Ali's number one thing on how to win FPL, right? And I've got this nugget of information I'm going to tell you, and Ali's going to respond to about what makes Ali different to the rest of us in terms of FPL manager. It's an awesome bit of a tip for us all. Forwards, we'll do Joao Pedro first, and then let's move to Haaland. So where are you at with Joao Pedro? Because what a Club World Cup. The semi-finals, the finals. We know Nicholas Jackson suspended for game week 1. He might not be a 90-minute man, but does that matter?
I think in terms of the impact that he's had in the World Cup, I think he will be replacing Jackson in the first 11. That's for sure. Because to have an impact of such moment, I think it just shows that he fits right in. And for me, his ownership will go down a little bit because at this exact moment we don't know what transfers are yet to be made by the teams. But he's a good price point, I would say. There's not many good forward in that 7 and 7.5 million bracket. The obvious one is of course Haaland. Yeah. Then it's Isak. Then it's Watkins. Who else is out there for now? I don't think there are many, and that you can bet on week in, week out. And having a difference in price of 1.5 million, especially when you have players like Haaland and Salah and Palmer and Saka, it's a bit of it feels like a bargain. It feels like a enabler at this exact moment.
Yeah, mate, it's so true. I think he's really, really exciting, Joao Pedro, and definitely a huge tempter for me. He is, at the time of recording, the highest owned player in the game at 58% ownership. The world and their dog are buying him, and at 7.5, I see why with those fixtures. If you want to be in my mini league, by the way, people have been asking in the comments, then the code is at the bottom of the screen coming in right now. Enter that code to join my mini league. Me and Ali are both in there. The code, for those listening on podcast, is OAD0FX. Right, the main man. We've got to talk about. This is a Haaland team, and so many are swerving Haaland, and I think it's a closer decision than perhaps people are giving credit for. Haaland versus Salah, knowing how Haaland started the year previously, like he started with an absolute bang last season. We saw 7, 17, 17, 13, 9. If he does this in the first 5 game weeks again, we're all, and I conclude myself in this, and I don't have Haaland, we're all going to be so gutted. So, Ali, talk to us about Erling Haaland and why he's in your team.
First off, it's Erling Haaland, and we all know how he starts the season. He's one of the rarest Man City players that are nailed in the team, actually.
Yeah.
With the addition of Marmoush, I think they've done a great job finding that guy. I don't know how they keep doing that every season. They got Cherki, a new player. They have. I think Foden will come back this year in the team. They still have Doku. They still have Savinho. They have a lot of players that will be rotating. And Haaland is a safe bet in terms of minutes, and you can bet on him. He's on penalties. It's Haaland, and there is not much. If you compare it to Salah, of course, there is a conversation to be had. But I think in the beginning of the season, if you want to, I bet on City to come back after a horrible season last year. I think they will get back to the levels of competing for the title, and they have good fixtures as well. So it's not a first 3, I believe, even 4 if you say, all the way up to Arsenal. It's a good fixture run for them.
Yeah, I fancy goals against Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton and Man United, absolutely. And even when we look at those fixtures for Haaland, when he got the huge points last season, it was like he was getting 17 pointers in games. It wasn't against, just newly promoted teams, big scores here. But yes, Ipswich in game week 2, but West Ham in game week 3, Brentford in game week 4, Arsenal in game week 5. He just started the season with a bang. And if we see the same again, boy, it's going to be impressive. Ali, do you think you'll obviously this is a game week 1 first draft, how likely is it you do go with Haaland over Salah? Do you see that happening? Like 80, 90%, or are you 50-50?
No, it's around 70-80%.
Yeah.
It just, for me, it doesn't make sense to, we have to have a balance in the team, balance from good, challenging teams. And I know that Florian Wirtz he should be nailed in the team. They haven't splashed the cash for him to sit on the bench. And I think it's about right balance in the team. I cannot fit both. And if you pick an attacker from Manchester City, I think you will be mostly looking at Haaland. Whether, if you look at Liverpool, there's plenty of players that you can go for, especially if they sign Ekitike as well. He's a prolific striker. I think he will do good. Liverpool is is bound to have another good season, I believe, with the additions they have. I think it's important to have a right balance and to pick the players from the teams that are nailed and most likely to get you points.
It's a really good point on Liverpool attack, because we know there's other forwards out there other than Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, Ekitike if he signs, that will be nailed probably 90-minute men most weeks. That Man City attack, it's really difficult to say that with certainty other than Haaland. So, yeah, I get that completely. Mate, we said we would end the show with your top tip to success. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because we've not prepared this, but having spoken to you so much in the last few years, we've done podcasts together. We've probably done 50 pods together, right? And we've spoken a lot on WhatsApp. I know what separates you from the rest of managers, and you might be too modest to say it, but FOMO doesn't get you. You play your own game. And we all have this monkey on our shoulder with FPL going, I want to pick Haaland, but everyone's going Salah, so I'm just going to do it. And we conform. And even those of us that say we don't, I include myself in that, I know sometimes I fall foul to that. Absolutely, you play your own game and you don't get FOMO. And when you won FPL and the world and their dog had Alexander Isak, you still went Callum Wilson. And actually, it took you to world number one and you won FPL with it. So just tell us, what is your secret there to not having FOMO? How do you blank out the noise and just go with your heart?
Well, actually, I do have FOMO. It's just sometimes, what's at stake when you look at it. It's just a game that we enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, you might as well not play it. But at the end of the day, you have to, play your own way in order to enjoy it. Because winning it, it's really hard. You have to, as I said, a lot of stars need to be aligned in order for that to happen. That's why it's just 1 in 10 million chance of winning it. And of course, if you just trust your own gut and it pays off, it feels a lot much better when you actually go for let's say, for a player out of FOMO and it doesn't really perform. Even if it does, it's still the same. Everybody has him. His ownership is high. You don't get that much excitement. But when your differential shoots, it's completely different feeling. I like that feeling more than, I hate losing it. It's just I'm willing to bet against in order to get that positive vibe of your differential striking.
Yeah, you're always willing to gamble with it. Ali, thank you so much. I look forward to chatting with you again pre-season. So guys, hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel, because we will be back hopefully with Ali ahead of game week 1 to see what his team looks like. If you want to see my team, then click the link on the video now. If you want to see Josh Bull, another FPL Champions team, again, his team is in shot. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again for another